Welcome to the video, Case 2 Megastat Tips. In this video, we will demonstrate the use of Megastat to perform the ANOVA and follow-up Tukey analysis, as well as performing a two-sample t-test. We will finish the video by looking at an overview of the content for the Case 2 report. Let's begin by demonstrating an ANOVA test. Here we have an example on the screen of the hazardous parts data. So we'll go to Add-ins, Megastat, Analysis of Variance, and for this project we always want to use randomized blocks ANOVA. I will now, making sure that my input area is selected, circle all of the data that I want to analyze, and set always to post-hoc analysis. OK. And at the top of the output of this randomized blocks ANOVA, we see the means of each of the three gloving levels. The next section contains means of blocking levels. Each row is considered a separate blocking level. In this analysis, we're not looking at the blocking results, only the treatments. And by looking at the ANOVA table, we can find the p-value for that test of treatments, and because it is less than alpha, it indicates that not all of the sample means are equal. That will lead us to the follow-up Tukey test. This table provides the p-values for that test. Because there are three sample means, there are three pairs of means to be compared, and these p-values provide the tool to do that. Given here are the 7 steps of the hypothesis test that should be reported for each main test in this project. Let's now take a look at a two-way ANOVA test. The sample hypothesis, alternate hypothesis is given here. For this one, we'll select hypothesis tests, compare two independent groups. And for this first example, let's use the no gloves female times as group 1 and the no gloves male times as group 2. I've now circled those. Because this is a test of equality, I will leave alternative hypothesis set to not equal and press OK. And we now see that the p-value for this test of equality between the no gloves male times and no gloves female times is approximately 83%. This is not less than alpha, therefore we're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis as shown here, and there's insufficient evidence to state that the no gloves male and no gloves female times differ statistically. Let's take a look at the overview of this project submission. The first component following the title page will be the executive summary. This should contain the original executive summary for appendices A through C, updated as needed, as well as summarizing the new appendices added for this project. Appendix A to C should be corrected as suggested. The first new appendix will be Appendix D. This concentrates on the research question that looks at the overall data set, your first research question. And this will involve one randomized block ANOVA test with follow-up testing as demonstrated earlier in this video. Be sure to include the Megastat output as well as the 7-step documentation. and provide a conclusion to the appendix reporting what the findings were and the corresponding managerial implications. That will then complete Appendix D. Moving on to Appendix E, this should address your second research question, which would be something along the lines of, are there differences in the mean sort times across the levels of gender, for example? Following the short introduction to this appendix, you'll be asked to perform 3 two-sample t-tests for equality as demonstrated earlier in this video, one for each gloving level, comparing the 2 levels of the categorical variable. Following this, you'll want to perform 2 randomized block ANOVA tests with follow-up testing, one for the 3 gloving levels of the male data records, a separate one for the 3 gloving levels of the female data records. Be sure, as in the previous appendix, to include MegaStat output and 7-step documentation, as well as a professional conclusion to the appendix reporting the findings and managerial implications of that appendix. If you decide to attempt the bonus question, you will have a third research question. This would be addressed in Appendix F and will contain the same content as Appendix E. I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you.